zealous, divine, heavenly pleasure in every bite.
According to the National Tourism Policy, there is a very significant focus on promoting sustainable growth, integrated digital strategies. And this also, there's an ambitious plan to reach 3 million tourists and subsequent tourists by 2030. So under these goals and the policies that have been set in the national policy, what are the biggest obstacles translating this policy into action in the ground?
One of the key things that we've been identified is the structural change required by the tourism industry, because we know whilst the tourism industry is a private sector driven industry, it is combined with various stakeholders. A government organization is being involved in tourism, and in most cases the mandate of those government organization is not tourism. So it itself is a kind of obstacle for you to have a kind of holistic tourism policy. So that's why we have been calling tourism as a priority industry in the first place. And in order to achieve the particular tourism growth and sustain it, you need multiple parties to work together, especially if you think about the investment portfolio, how lands and other kind of government organizations working together. And also in countries like ours, I think aviation plays a big role in such kind of a thing, how aviation connectivity, the accessibility and all other factors are being working together. So
Sri Lanka has so many domestic airports, Jaffna, Sigiriya, Batticaloa, Hinguraggoda, etc. So there is a tendency that the tourist revolves around a certain area, but if you can effectively use this in a commercial viable manner, there is a discussion whether the domestic airlines can be used effectively for the internal transportation. And what is your view on that? And anything that you can propose, any strategies or any actions that can be proposed on this?
Domestic airlines have been in this country for many, many, many decades. Back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, we had aeroplanes flying to the domestic airports, and that was the easiest way to travel when the roads weren't so clever in those days. Get those domestic airlines going again. Now, the air taxis, they're good for the select few, the few people that can afford to charter them. The helicopters, even more expensive, not the way to go. We've got to develop affordable domestic transport around the country by air. First of all, we start by looking at the right equipment. The right equipment is aircraft that can seat maybe 50 to 70 people and carry their baggage with them in comfort. Those aircraft are readily available in the world markets. Why is it not happening in Sri Lanka? Well, the private sector hasn't stood up yet. They haven't got their act together to transition from 10-seater Cessna Caravans, 4-seater helicopters, into the 70-seater aircraft that I vision for the future. It's readily available to do. My vision is that we start up a small domestic operation to start with, based on Ratmalana, serving Jaffna, serving on some of the flights through BIA to pick up the international connections, and that's perfectly feasible today. But we need a little help from the authorities on this.
How do you see this question of being diversification of Sri Lankan products, going beyond the traditional offerings that we have been doing to make sure that the travelers get the true understanding, true spirit of Sri Lanka?
I think the important thing to do is to focus on niche tourism and put that at the very forefront of our strategy. Also trail tourism, and there's an overlap between the two. So there's ample opportunity here and ample scope to basically go beyond the traditional conveyor belt itinerary with everyone's effort.
People are talking about nation branding. What do you think, if looking at it from Sri Lanka's perspective, importance of an integrated campaign of this nature for Sri Lanka?
The key is to build on the building blocks of success. Sri Lanka has all of the raw ingredients: the culture, the coastline, wildlife, and extraordinary people. So the question is how to approach. The first, I believe, is to have a unified national brand archive or playbook where everything relates back to that byline for Sri Lanka. Of course, the tourism is very involved in expanding this playbook or archive, but each hotel group, partner in travel, booking, transportation, must equally contribute. By having a unified branding, that message can be relived and relived and relived in years to come.